like that. Woo!
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. My name is BJ Matthews, aka B Jizzle.
And it's your co-host that does it the most. It's your boy Rick Masters, aka at Rick Masters 23 or Mr. Lee on Instagram. Y'all already know the deal. Hey, we looking at Kobe, we looking at Jeanie But, but we got these shirts that look better than anybody when you wear them. The Pull Up Basketball Podcast shirts, white, red. We got the red shirts, the black. We got the sweaters, the hoodies. Come on, people, $25 a pop for the shirts. $35 for the hoodies, the sweaters. Hit up me and B Jizzle in the DMs. B Jizzle, let's go.
Like my man said, hit us on our social media page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast on YouTube. You know what I mean? Get our shirts by directly messaging us on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, or in the comment section. If you want to get your shirt today, you can go right into our Cash App. Cash App us, you know what I'm saying, the donation. We greatly appreciate it. It's in the ticker. We're going to continuously bring y'all this hot content. We got a great show for y'all today. Probably one of the best shows. Honestly, bro, I think we're going to probably be doing it together because of the information and all the surprise that came with this read that we both read, man. I think it was a great idea. Shout, my boy Rick is the one that came with this today's topic. So when we have a fire show, give the credit to him. But we got to talk about not a player, right? We're gonna talk about one of the lead executives, the lead owners of the NBA today. Her bloodlines goes from generation to generation, all the way back to the 80s. For the most prestige franchise in the NBA, the LA Lakers, man. This lady has taken a position. I would say pretty much she's taken a position where she's able to lead a movement with women being owners of teams.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I think that needs to be pointed out as well. But I'm talking about Miss Jeanie But, right? I'm talking about Mrs. Jeanie But, the LA Lakers owner, you know what I'm saying, for this team. Right? That's her right there, Jeanie But for the Los Angeles Lakers, bro. We had a great read that we talked about. Jeanie But sat down in the interview discussing her thoughts about next season. Also, what has transpired in the last couple seasons, couple years for her, it's kind of been tough. Let's talk about the Lakers, man. Kind of describe what the Lakers have been these last couple of seasons. What has been your evaluation on things that's been going on, whether it be injuries, them missing the playoffs? What have you seen this disappointing why things have not worked?
So here's my thing. All right, let me be fair because this is more for Jeanie But. Okay, so let me be fair. But the Lakers overall, we already understand, everybody, that the Lakers are a prestigious team, right? Jeanie But said in an article herself that, her father's vision was to stay in competition with the Celtics because we all know the Celtics were the first basketball team that pretty much got it going. You had the Bill Russell, Sam Jones, all that good stuff. We know that. So John Havlicek, we know this stuff. So her father pretty much wanted to always stay in competition. That's why he bought the team, right? So now she feels like she has to stay, keep her father's legacy alive, more to say. So that's why a lot of people don't understand why the Lakers will make such a big move or they make these crazy trades or, John Pelinka's doing this in mid-season or, what's going on? Is KD coming? Is KD not coming? It's like she wants to make sure that she keeps her father's legacy alive. So a lot of times we'll see Jeanie do things or things that look crazy over there. But the thing about this article, after me and BJ read it, is that I think we have a better understanding of her psyche. And I myself will admit that I probably judged her wrong on some occasions because now that I read it, I'm sitting here thinking like, man, she's in a tough position. And now after reading this article, hearing it from the horse's mouth herself, I feel like she's doing a good job now. And at the end of the day, the Lakers, man, to answer it simply, Jeanie said it best. They have a luxury tax, right? So they don't have that much room because LeBron, Westbrook, and Anthony Davis takes up a lot of that salary cap of their luxury cap. So they don't have too many moves to make. And then, of course, she even said herself that it was very disappointing because when she misses all the trades, the Westbrook trade in the Anthony Davis trade that took a lot of, money, and also the players that are now playing with the Pelicans. And the Pelicans still have some draft picks that they're getting from the Lakers based off of Anthony Davis's trade. So she's basically saying that, they're in a tough spot. And really, we need Westbrook to kind of, he's on expiring, I think, $47 million contract. So really, they're in a real tough spot. John Pelinka is doing everything he can. But as far as the Lakers in the last 4 years, man, they got a ring in 2020, but they're not really performing. And I mean, I don't really have too many excuses, man. I mean, they just not doing well. So I'm gonna let you go, BJ.
Oh man, so let's unpack first of all what happened in the bubble in 2020. The Lakers ended up winning the bubble in 2020, led by LeBron James as well as Anthony Davis. They had other pieces: Rajon Rondo, Dwight Howard, Alex Caruso, KCP, JaVale McGee. Their roster was pretty much different from what it is now, right? The circumstances was different. Everybody knows what happened in 2020 in the bubble. They were condensed in one environment in Orlando where they got a chance to play. They didn't travel. They didn't have to, face any fans. They just had an opportunity to play in one condensed environment. That's what happened in the bubble. The Lakers got the job done. They won the NBA title. It was their first title since 2010. And people got to remember, too, the Lakers have been struggling to get back on track ever since 2012, 2013. They haven't made the playoffs. From 2014 all the way to 2000, I believe, 19, the Lakers didn't even make the playoffs. So that's very unknown for a prestige franchise like the Lakers, who are built on excellence. We're talking about decade after decade with Magic and Kareem, or I'm sorry, Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain, Magic and Kareem, Kobe and Shaq, Kobe and Powell, and then you go to a 4-year drought. People don't understand, from 2014 to 2019, there were times where you didn't even know the Lakers roster. They're starting five. There are guys on the team, they were just bringing them off the street and letting them play for the team. That's the point the Lakers failed to. And now you get LeBron James in 2020 and they sign, and then you bring in Anthony Davis, then you're starting to kind of get back into where you want to get back into. So they end up winning their title in LeBron's second year there. So things were great in 2020. Then 2021 happens. They get beat in the first round to the Phoenix Suns. And people blame that more so on Anthony Davis being hurt. That was the main thing. That's what they blamed it on, right? Now you go into next year, last year in 2022, they don't make the playoffs. So now there's a lot of panicking going on in Lakerland, because it's like, now you're not making the playoffs. Like, we always make the playoffs. Like, that's not us. Laker fans are like upset. They're angry. They're spoiled. And I can attest to that, bro. Like, me and you, Kobe fans, like, Laker fans are spoiled. They want what they want right now. If they don't get it, they're going to cause a fit. And that's why I think a lot of people around the NBA particularly don't like Laker fans, because they're used to getting what they want. And they're used to kind of like excellence and 17 championships and being spoiled. So now what I think right now is going on is the Lakers are in a position they didn't expect to be in. You got the Russell Westbrook trade that really kind of messed up a lot of the growth. Not saying Westbrook's a bad player at any means. He just doesn't fit. But you traded away 3 guys off your team to get them that was part of your core. So they made a bad move. People were saying it was LeBron and Anthony Davis signed off on the trade. People were saying that Jeanie But and Rob Pelinka shouldn't have even went through with that idea. Bottom line is that Russell Westbrook is there. And you're going to have to find a way to make him do what he can do, because it looks like he's not going to get traded this season. And that's going to be a tough spot. The man's about to make $47 million. So going back to Jeanie But, she had the sit-down interview where she talked about all these things. She talked about the new moves that are coming in. She talked about the people who influence the Lakers, the Laker culture. And she brought up some information that even me, following the Lakers for the longest, I probably did not know. So let's start with the first thing. They hired head coach Mr. Darvin Ham. How do you feel this move is going to help the Lakers, or do you think it's going to help the Lakers at all? Do you think that Darvin Ham moves the needle for the Lakers, or do you think that this roster is just so miscombobulated it's not going to matter? Let me hear what you guys say.
Well, according to the NBA.com article, everybody in the league seems to know him. The governors of basketball. I mean, it sounds like the entire NBA really thinks that he's going to be good for the Lakers. Like, he's a good coach overall. Now, me personally, I haven't really dug too deep into him because I believe he's a new coach when as far as coming to the NBA. I mean, he's probably coached elsewhere in his life in different places, but I believe he's like a brand new coach, like a head coach of a team. And I tell you what, the Lakers, franchise is one hell of a franchise that you want to be your first coach on. So obviously, basketball of operations, Jeanie Buss, the sorts they feel like he's going to be a good fit. Now, Frank Vogel definitely wasn't, an issue in my opinion. I think Frank Vogel was really trying to defend certain players like Westbrook. He was trying to work with LeBron. And, like you said it, man, Lakers Nation, man, they're spoiled. They're used to winning. And then, I think the way that Frank Vogel was coming at it, I think he's more of a defensive set-minded coach anyway, which wins games, and he had the offensive power, but it's just that, the Lakers want to win now. And so when they don't get results, they're gonna trade you up out of there. And Darvin Ham, I don't really know much about him. I tried to look him up, but as far as his NBA, kind of like a Phil Jackson or a Popovic, something like that, I didn't really have much to go off of, right? So I just have to go off of what Jeanie Buss is saying. I have to go off of what the board of basketball is saying, basketball operations is saying about him. They feel very promising with him. They feel like they're going to do great things with him. I'm kind of excited to see what he's going to do. I like the fact that he's a brother. You know what I mean? So I do like that. And honestly, I think I'm gonna be like the NBA fans, man. I'm just kind of excited to see what he's gonna do. I mean, Jeanie Buss talks highly about him, so we're gonna see what happens. But I'm gonna tell you what, the first person he needs to get along with is LeBron James, because we know he's the coach. He's the shadow coach of the LA Lakers. So as long as him and LeBron get along, this might be a fun season, man. What do you think?
All good points, bro. So Darvin Ham, what I do know about him, he was with the Milwaukee Bucks last year, the team that won the championship, right?
Okay. Was he assistant coach though, or
he was assistant coach? Yeah, behind Budenholzer.
Okay.
So what I look at Darvin Ham. First of all, he used to be in the NBA. He used to play with the Detroit Pistons, and I believe a few other teams, but the Detroit Pistons was his main team. And from what I understand about him and his playing style, he's a very tough-nosed player. He was an undersized, small forward. I think he was like 6'6", 6'7".
Mm-hmm.
A banger, you know what I'm saying, likes to get into people. A bruiser. He's kind of like the tough guy.
Okay.
That's who he is. So once I saw that and I found that out, I said to myself, okay, this is kind of what the Lakers need. They need like a heavy hammer. They need somebody to put Westbrook, LeBron, and AD in their place. Right? They need somebody like a Frank Vogel. It's crazy I'm saying this because he just won a title 3 seasons ago. But Frank Vogel was not going to be that heavy hammer that I believe this guy, Darvin Ham, is going to be. First of all, this guy used to be a player. First of all, his size, just by looking at him, he's an imposing dude. Frank Vogel doesn't give you off that vibe. He's more of a, just a regular guy walking around. But Darvin Ham's like, you could tell he played some type of sport back in the day. So that can make a difference, that you're not going to get away with certain things that you got away with Frank Vogel. And that's what the Lakers need to be. LeBron signed off on Frank Vogel. Signed off on Darvin Ham. That's who he wanted as the coach. So that's a good thing for LeBron and the Lakers. But I think the biggest influence, again, he's going to be big for Russell Westbrook. I think Russell Westbrook is going to be the one Darvin Ham is going to have the most impact on, because he's the guy that got most of the blame last season. And I think Westbrook's mindset is just one way, that he hasn't really been coached by a real coach. You look at all the coaches he's had, they pretty much allowed him to do what he wants to do. Right? Frank Vogel pushed back last year by, not giving what he wants, but at the same time, it's like Westbrook at this point in his career, he needs somebody like a Darvin Ham who I think he can respect, because he played in the league. And that makes a big difference. But I also think that another big move they made, the Lakers did, was hiring Rasheed Wallace, man. Because Rasheed Wallace is going to be their assistant coach behind Darvin Ham. Now, Darvin Ham and Rasheed Wallace, I don't know if people know, they played together on Detroit. And if I'm not mistaken, it was on that 2004 championship team, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong, but I think they both play on that championship team in Detroit. So they have a relationship. So I'm pretty sure Darvin went to front office, went to Jeanie Buss, Mitch Kupchak and Rob Pelinka, which was like, hey, I'm gonna come on board, but I like y'all to bring in Rasheed Wallace with me. And I think Rasheed Wallace, the big influence he's gonna have on is Anthony Davis. I think Anthony Davis is going to be the guy who has to lead the ship. And this is what Jeanie said in her article in her interview. She said he's the main piece. It's not LeBron James, it's not Russell Westbrook, it's Anthony Davis. Look at the last couple of seasons. The reason why the Lakers have been struggling is because in the first season they got bounced out against Phoenix in the first round. Anthony Davis was hurt, right? And then last year he missed, I think, half the season, and they didn't make the playoffs. So Anthony Davis's injury proneness and his underperforming has cost them, you know what I'm saying, success in the playoffs. And then you look at the bubble when he was just killing. He was a top. He's people saying he's the best player on the team. That's when they won. They don't won it all. So the key is Anthony Davis. It's not LeBron. It's not Russell Westbrook. It's not Darvin. That's the key. And I think Rasheed Wallace is somebody. Y'all, you remember Rasheed Wallace back in the day, bro?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. Rasheed was a problem. Probably to me, he's not as good as Tim Duncan and Karl Malone, those guys. But what he is, I think he was just as talented. And I think a guy like Anthony Davis, he can somewhat help his mental psyche. Because I think Anthony Davis's mindset is not always where it needs to be. And I think Rasheed Wallace can help push that. So that's my hypothesis on that, bro. What else you got to say about that?
Oh, I did a quick little synopsis of Darvin Ham. So, like you said, man, he's been an assistant coach for the Bucks, the Hawks, and of course, even the Lakers from 2011, 2013. Okay. So, but of course, he played for the Pistons, like you said. He played for the Milwaukee Bucks. He played for the Indiana Pacers. So, one thing I do know about LeBron is that LeBron does respect coaches who actually played and understands the game. I know that is a real big thing for LeBron, which is why most likely LeBron signed off on him. I'm sure he knows him more on a personal level, probably talked to him before he got signed as the head coach. And you mentioned something. He's a hard-nosed type of player, which means that mentality has always been there. And like you said, bouncing off of what you just said, I think Westbrook does need a coach like that, because when he was in OKC, that was his playground. Westbrook could do anything he wanted to do. He went over, with the other teams, in the past, as far as the Wizards, and he got to the Lakers before Darvin Ham got here. It's like Westbrook could just pretty much do whatever he wanted to do. And the thing about it is, Westbrook, again, people, he's still a good player. He's an all-star player. Like, he still could play ball. I just think I think a lot of people don't understand that Laker nation, that's another level of pressure. A lot of people don't understand that it's a huge market and they want to win yesterday. So I think a lot of times, even when Dwight Howard came over to the Lakers, people don't understand. Dwight Howard was a super duper star before he hurt his back. And when he got there playing with Kobe and everything, I think he realized, like, yo, what? Like, it's a different kind of pressure here, especially when you're considered a big man, because we all know that the Lakers, man, they have a prestige when it comes to a legacy of big men playing for them. So when you show up, man, and you don't show out, the Laker Nation is going to let you realize it. And, unfortunately for Westbrook, they were telling him don't shoot the ball. And psychologically, I don't know if anybody understands, that will mess with you. That will come at you. And the only way to shut that crowd up is if you start hitting your shots. So I think Darvin Ham, just off the little bit I read right now and just kind of looking at his tenure with different teams and everything, I think that will help Westbrook, like you said. And I think that will put him in some type of mind state to be more confident and to kind of block out the crowd and is focus on his game. And also, I'm sure that Darvin Ham is going to tell Westbrook, hey, you got to start working on other aspects of your game. Jordan, I like using him a lot because his first 3 seasons, when he was not first 3 seasons when he started, but when he started winning championships in the 90s, Jordan was a high flyer. And then when he came back after his dad's death, after those 2 years, Jordan had to change his game because people were younger. They could jump faster. They were running faster. So Jordan had to change his game up. That's when he went to that beautiful fadeaway. So Westbrook has to find a game style that's going to be more, more synergy wise and connecting with everybody else on the court. Because like you said, AD is the centerpiece. So Westbrook has to figure out a way to get AD more involved. We already know LeBron can do it because he's just a natural. His IQ is crazy. But Westbrook has to get to a point to where he knows his role. He can be effective in his role. And he can pretty much, shoot that ball when he's wide open and hit at least 50% or plus in order to help the Lakers. Like his game style has to change basically. We can't run and gun and you missing layups or dunks. You gotta evolve as a player. And I think Darvin Ham is going to do that for him. He's going to help him. The last thing, AD, you're absolutely right. Rasheed Wallace is really going to come through. He's really going to come through. He's really going to tell, hey, AD, you're going to have to start being a banger. You're going to have to get tougher because that's how Rasheed Wallace was. Rasheed Wallace was fearless, and I think he's going to teach AD how to have that mentality. You're the big dog. You run this house. And I think with Darvin Ham and Rasheed Wallace, those two, mentally tough and nose tough defensive type of players, dude, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. But that's all I have to say on that.
Yeah, man. A lot of good points that you just made, man. I think the it's going to say some of the other things that Jeanie talked about. She talked about, I want to talk about her leadership style. We talked a little bit about that before we got on here. It's easy to critique, like me and you both said, like you said, like it was easy for us to kind of put some blame on her. Like, what is Lakers front office doing? Like, what they're doing. But then when you start hearing it from the horse's mouth, it's like maybe it's a lot more to this that we didn't know. And she exposed all about how she felt with certain relationships with players and people who are with the Lakers, and how tough it's been the last couple of seasons. This is not on the court, but off the court. One of the things that she spoke about is how she looks for leadership in a lot of different people and collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's and for the most part with women, not to be sexy nothing, but that's how mostly they're wired. They look for other people's opinions. They value other people, which is a great trait. Most of us as men, we're usually narrow-headed. We try to be the top and like figure it out. Like we'll hear you out to a certain extent, but for the most part, we're not listening to so many other people. But Jeanie welcomes in, hey, what do you think about this? From people close to her who's been with the Lakers for over a decade, right? Who she's known since she was a child, under her father. But talk about her leadership style. Do you think there's something that she's going to have to change to get this team back on track? Not saying that she needs to be her father, but what are some things you think she could tweak to kind of like make a different flavor, different mood out there on the Laker forefront? Let me hear from you.
Well, I think, and this is just an opinion, so Jeanie But, if you ever see this, it's just my opinion. I believe she's going the right way. I think she's going the right way in the sense of allowing other departments and people on the organization to do what they have to do, right? So since she, she has the power to make changes, I like that she goes to other, experienced people from the Laker Nation to get advice from. So, you got the Magic Johnson. You got the Phil Jackson. Now, she said in the article, she said she's not going to share too much when it comes to Phil Jackson, but she does go to him for psychological things, right? And we already know they call him the Zen master for a reason, because when you're dealing with a Michael Jordan, a Kobe Bryant, a Shaq, Scottie Pippen, and a Dennis Rodman, you got to be some type of Zen master to get those guys to win championships together. So she's definitely going to the right person when it comes to psychological needs. Then, she had Kobe at one point, God rest his soul, his daughter and everybody on that helicopter that day. But she did have Kobe at one point. So she does go to people who literally knew the game. I'm pretty sure, she learned a lot from her father when he was still alive. So she has the right mentality. She has the right, thought, foresight to go to the certain, fountains of wisdom in order to be a winner and, with that Laker Nation. But one thing that I would say, just as a positive critique, I think she would do a better job if she, was kind of like a Pat Riley, in the meaning of, Pat Riley doesn't talk much, but he does a lot of talk when the cameras aren't on him. You know what I mean? Like when you see Pat Riley at them Heat games as a GM, he's just sitting up there quiet. You don't really see him he don't really conversate too much, but then you could tell behind the curtains, he's probably in your butt. What I'm basically getting at is Jeanie But will probably, and I'm sure she has this relationship with the players, but I think She, let's use Westbrook for an example. It'll be good that she'll probably bring Westbrook in and say, hey, Westbrook, you were good in OKC. You were good, you played good with the Wizards. You played good with these different teams. I'm gonna need that same Westbrook to show up with a better jump shot because it's not good. Okay. And we're paying you a lot of money and we need you to perform. Conversations like that need to happen in the background because at the same time, you don't never want to make a person look bad, right? You don't want to clown people in front of a huge crowd. And I feel like that's what Pat Riley does. It's like he may not say nothing when the cameras are on him, you know what I mean, unless you force him to talk, because he'll tell you the truth. But it's like at the end of the day, you could tell Pat Riley is the type of person where when those cameras are not on you, he's in your butt. He's on you. He's letting you know the reality. And I feel like she would become not only she's already respected. So I don't want to get this, taking my words out of context. But I just feel like when I look at pictures of her and other players, like it's almost like they have a mom figure or they have like a sister figure with her. And you don't really see too many pictures like that with Pat Riley. Like I mean, that to me, that's okay because you won a championship. But when it comes to, business, I feel like she needs to be tough nose like Darvin Ham, tough nose like Rasheed Wallace, like really get not, and like I said, don't take me out of context, people, but really get into some of these players, but when that camera is not on them and let them know like, hey, we love you. We think you're an awesome player, but we're paying you $47 million. Dude, we need you to perform. And I'm sure Kobe raised the stakes there. Right? Kobe made it where it was almost imaginable to come there and just relax because his work ethic was so crazy. His training was so crazy. The way he came at the game was so crazy that he set the bar so high that when players come to the Lakers now, that's what the Lakers are used to. They want you to perform. They want you at your best. And I feel like she has to make sure that she's talking to certain players that, players who need to hear it, that, hey, as much as we love you, as much as I care about you, I need you to perform. If you perform, I'll make sure to cover your butt in the press. I'll make sure to protect you when people are coming at you. But if you're not performing, hey, it's business, okay? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be, not sensitive. But at the same time, this is a business. This is built off my father's name. My last name is the same as my father's name. I'm trying to carry this legacy, and I need you to help me with that by performing better. And I feel like she has to come at certain players like that so they can really get an understanding that, yes, as loving as I am, I'm just as hard on the other side because we do need to win, and that's the main goal. And she had those sentiments when she was getting asked those questions that she is about winning. But I just feel like she'd be more effective if it was like a Pat Riley state of mind where you're really getting on certain players. But that's what I have to say about that. Appreciate your play for keeps.
Yeah, my man. My man was definitely cooking. Again, this is his, his title. Wasn't my topic, it was my boy Rick's topic, so gotta get credit where credit's due. And you brought up a thing that made me think about something, man. And I'm gonna get into something else after this. When you said Jeanie Buss needs to be more of a hard, heavy hitter, I don't know how many people watch wrestling back in the day or the WWE. There's this figure by the name of Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie McMahon was the daughter of Vince McMahon, who was the chairman of the WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. Vince McMahon, that's McMahon. He was the CEO, the head honcho of the WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. It was basically a family-owned business. It's a billion-dollar corporation, the WWE. Once Vince McMahon didn't step down, but once he was around less and less, his daughter Stephanie took over the entire corporation, took control of the entire organization of WWE. Her leadership style, you would think that she sometimes would be a little bit too tough, but no one dared to disrespect her. And on top of that, she was, who she was. She was in the family business, so that kind of like helped out as well. But I think when you say Jeanie Buss needs to be a little bit more tougher, I think she needs to understand who she is. Like she's a bus. Like your bloodline runs all the way down since 1980s and beyond. You got 17 championships in that organization. A lot of it was won through your father. He's the cornerstone of this franchise. you have power, you have authority in your position. So it's okay for you to be lenient and hearing people's opinion. And that also goes back to, I think, how she is as a person, which is a great person, that she would even involve other people to see what they feel. Because it's like you said, like you kind of find out who you are as a person when you give them power. You give a person power and money, you'll see who they really are. That's who their character is. So I think she just needs to lean more towards and understand, trust in her gut. Like I'm making the last decision. I appreciate y'all's input and stuff like that, but this is, the Lakers franchise is run through my family. So I want to bring up that point, but a few other things I want to bring up before I let people in. She talked about people in the organization that meant something to her, guys like Magic Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Magic Johnson was probably the best point guard in the NBA history, who she looks at as a brother. That's like a person that she looks at as a brother, Magic Johnson, right? She talked about his influence. She talked about Phil Jackson's influence, who he won, I believe, 5 titles with under the Lakers. The Kobe and Shaq years and Kobe Pau Gasol. She talks about his influence, right? But the person that she really talked about, and I really was surprised at how deep she was Kobe Bryant. And how his influence is missed. Of course, we all know Kobe Bryant was tragically killed in a car accident or a plane helicopter accident 2 years ago, which is crazy. It seems like it was just yesterday, but 2.5 years ago, he was killed with his daughter Gianna and 7 other passengers in a helicopter accident. She talked about his impact and how she feels like he was the best Laker of all time, and how she dearly misses him and his leadership and how his connection is with the Lakers. What did you learn about their connection? Do you think that had Kobe been here, not trying to wish, something that's not going to happen, but the way she was speaking about Kobe was almost as if he could have kept this ship afloat. He could have turned this around to the point where he would always know what to say. He would always have their back. Why do you think their connection is so close?
I think their connection is so close because Kobe was a winner. And what I mean by a winner is not because of the championships, because Kobe's mindset was, even I use an example from Kobe himself. And I know a lot of people who watch basketball know what I'm referring to once I start talking about it. Kobe brings up the finals when they played against the Philadelphia Sixers, right? When AI went to the finals against them. And AI went crazy on them in the first game. And Kobe always tells a story how he was like, man, like AI was just showing out. AI was everywhere. But this is what Kobe did. Kobe didn't back down. Kobe went and studied AI. He said he was watching, I believe, something about sharks or things like that. And so it forced Kobe to go into this mode of, how do I defeat? How do I put the mantle on this opponent? Right. And with that being said, Kobe's mentality, I bring up another story from Kobe when he lost in 2008 against the Celtics. Kobe remembered the music that he heard after the Celtics won, and he played that song every day until he met up with the Celtics again in 2010. Right. So I think when you have a mentality like that, it aligns with her father's vision. It aligns with whatever it takes. But not to take her out of context, she also mentions in the article that Kobe was team oriented, right? Kobe came to a point in his career where he was like, I'm going to put all of my jewels, all of my energy and hard work. So, if Kobe thinks like this as an individual, he's going to be even more powerful when he pours into the team that he's dealing with. So Kobe's like, okay, we need to win, but I need my teammates to have the same mentality. And he poured that same energy into what he does as an individual, the Mamba mentality inside of the team. And it mentions in the article that she said that Kobe was like, look, whatever we have to do, whatever needs to be done, I'm going to put all this into the team, and I'm going to let the rest of the chips fall where they may fall. Right. And we saw what happened. He won 2 more. He went to 3, finals in a row and won 2 championships out of them. And so what I think the influence on her and what she's missing about Kobe so much is that he wasn't thinking about himself. And so it alludes to, And a lot of people kind of probably took her out of context, which she explains as well. It wasn't about, LeBron James at all. Is she just misses Kobe so much, because what it alludes to is that there is some individuals in the organization as a whole, not just the players, but as a whole, that thinks that, if I do it my way, then we can get things done. And she just misses that as great as Kobe was, as great as he was as an individual, and we all understand that, Kobe knew that he needs to put that same energy and that tenacity inside of his team, because he knew if he can get the team on board, then we can get further along. And like I said, as you can see, he won 2 more championships. So she misses that mindset. She misses that energy. She misses that wisdom, right? And she wishes that she had that same influence and mentality inside of the current Lakers today. Because obviously around that Laker Nation itself, from GM all the way down to players, there's probably people who want to do their own thing. And Kobe seemed like he brought everybody together to say, hey, as great as I am, as good as I can take over, I still need you guys to get on board, because this is a team effort. And I think that's what she's missing. And let's not also forget that, look, man, if you really go back, let's just say 8 or 10 years, remember, Magic was there, he left. Like she said, Kobe died, father died, mother died, Phil Jackson left to the Knicks. So she has, as an individual, has been really going through it, right? The people that used to be there, and like she said, Phil Jackson, when he signed that contract, when he went to the Knicks, I can't talk about Lakers stuff anymore. I can't help you anymore. But Kobe will always be there. Kobe dies. So now deep down, she's like, damn, the person I can always go to is not even here anymore. So understand from her perspective, it's like, man, where is that person that I can rely on to bring that team synergy, that team energy back? That's all she was saying. And I think that was the greatest influence that Kobe brought to her. And Kobe seemed like he's a good friend too, outside of basketball. He's vicious. But outside of basketball, it seems like he's a sincere, loving person that just gives you the right words at the right time. And I just feel like that's what she misses about him. As mean as he was on that court, he was very sweet off the court, but he was very sincere in everything he said. So I think that's what she misses about Kobe's influence, is that he brought people together, no matter where you come from, what culture you come from. Kobe knew how it felt to be alone. He went to Italy. The kids didn't play with him, so he had to build up himself, right? So he knows how it feels to be alone. And I think she found a related spirit in him, because she probably felt alone. Like I said, daddy died, mama died, Phil Jackson left, can't talk to him. All these people that are not around anymore. Magic Johnson left the team, but she can always go to Kobe, and Kobe could relate to her and gave her those jewels and wisdom to keep pushing forward. So I think that was the big influence. They just had a relatability. Like, they were very relatable when it came to feeling like you're by yourself, but he knew how to bring things together. So I think that's what she's really missing about him. What do you think?
Oh man, good points as usual, brother. I go back to this quote, the tweet that she put a few days ago, I think a week ago, and she said, I quote, "I miss KB," which is Kobe Bryant. "He would understand and explain everything that I'm not allowed to. Honestly, he was the greatest Laker ever. He understood team over self, meaning your rewards will come if you value team goals over your own, then everything else will fall in place." All can reply. Now, I look at that quote, and we did a video about a week ago, bro. I think I did it with myself. I talked about how this was this direct shot at LeBron. I'm gonna get to this point, the next subject, before we let people in. It's funny that for years, and you from the same era, we're from the same era, when Kobe Bryant was in his prime. It's funny that quote, and I'm glad she said what she said, because it put in perspective how Kobe Bryant really was. Because for years and years and years, especially when he played, you got the notion everybody was talking about how selfish Kobe Bryant was. He was a ball hog. He was arrogant, blase, just all types of stuff. That's why I say Kobe's probably the most hated NBA superstar of all time, because you have people hating on him and talking about him that didn't have any type of concrete evidence, right? So I'm glad she put that out there. Like, this dude was all about the team first, but the way he played so viciously and ferociously, he wanted to win. But you thought it was just about him being him. A lot of those years that he was scoring all those people, all those scoring titles, he did it because he had to, because of the team that he had. The Lakers, they had a lot of down years where they didn't have much of an offensive team and much of a team, period. He had to take on the load to do more for that team. If he could, he would pass the ball more. But it's like, what is the best thing for us to do to win? You just saw what she said in that quote. He did whatever was about the team first, purple and gold first. And you heard in many interviews, he bled purple and gold, right? That's what his whole mindset. I want to get that out the way first. But I think the relationship between them is so deep because just by his personality, right? Look at the people around Jeanie But that are close to her personality-wise. Magic Johnson's more of the, cute, cuddly figure, want to high five everybody. And he seems like when he's at work, he's more friendlier and like doesn't take things that seriously. I'm just giving you my opinion. Not to say he's not successful, but his personality is different from a guy like a Kobe Bryant, who you kind of need him at times to tell you what you need to hear, and you need to have some type of certainty that everything's going to be okay, despite of all the things that are happening one after another. Because I believe if Kobe was alive, there have been a lot of things he could have put Jeanie Buss's mind at ease about. At times, especially if you're a woman, you need another person to come in and say, hey, it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. We're going to figure this out. And that's what his mindset has always been. My mentality, get the job done. And that's why I think she was alluding to, like, he knew what to say without me having to say it. Because my thing is like, bro, you the owner of the Lakers. If you can't say it, who can? But I guess her relationship is so deep with him is that he's one person that he can trust. She can trust his direction and his advice, right? And I think what really kind of messed it up too was not only did he pass, but he passed so unexpectedly. It wasn't like this dude was like 75, 80 years old. He died of old age, or he died, you know what I'm saying, something like that. It would still be tough, but it'd be not as heart-wrenching. Like she said that this is going to be a forever grieving process because she was taken away from us at such so unexpectedly. In my opinion, this was the prime of his life. I believe, like Kobe Bryant, this was the prime of his life. He was getting into women's basketball because of his daughter. He was, doing the whole body armor drink. He was writing the stories, the novels. Like, people were seeing a side of him that they'd never seen. So it's very refreshing to see a person who cared about his kids, his daughters that much. You saw a different side from what he was on the basketball court, right? So he was taken away so unexpectedly from us. But then you look at this woman, Jeanie Buss, and other people who talk about him. You hear nothing but solid stories about, who he was as a person. So he couldn't have been that bad, right? But I wanted to talk about one last thing about LeBron, because she did say it wasn't a shot at him what she said about Kobe in this tweet. My personal opinion is basically, I think that it wasn't a direct shot at him, but I think LeBron should take some type of notes of what it means to be a true Laker. Because I don't think LeBron's a really true Laker, and it's not his fault because he came so late to the team. But I think Jeanie's saying this is how you're supposed to lead the team, right? So you said you don't think it's a shot at LeBron. She said it wasn't a shot at LeBron. But do you think that there's anything that revolves around LeBron in this situation? Because they did mention LeBron quite a few times, and it kind of seemed like she was shying away from the question. Do you think that their relationship is as tight as it should be, or do you think it's rocky? What do you think their relationship is right now?
Well, this is all speculation at this point, and I'm gonna use facts when it comes to things, people's relationships. If she said it wasn't a shot at LeBron, it wasn't a shot at LeBron. I'm gonna take her word as value. Okay. But are LeBron and Kobe two different players? Absolutely. Kobe from the man himself. And like I said, I watch Kobe clips all the time. And just to go off of what Kobe said on one clip I watched on YouTube, Kobe said, it's fascinating. And he didn't say nothing bad about LeBron. He said it's fascinating a guy that big, 6'9", 6'10", likes to play around the three-point line. He goes, I like to get down low and body with people and feel people. I like to bang with people. He goes, LeBron like to be at the top of the key, right? So I'm saying that to reference that LeBron and Kobe already have two different mindsets, right? Like Kobe's intense. Kobe's hard-nosed. He wants the pressure. He wants to feel the opposing player, right? He wants to figure out your weaknesses. LeBron is a more team orchestrated, he wants things to go his way, right? Like LeBron is a huge point guard pretty much, right? But that alone should show you just in their playing styles. And what Kobe was alluding to is that LeBron, he wants things to kind of go how he wants them to go when he's out there on the court. And if you compare that to what Jeanie But is saying, you know, when she was responding to the writer or the journalist at the time, if you try to compare that, then it's easy to kind of jump to the conclusion that LeBron is not a team-oriented player. But see, it's hard for me to not say that's the case because he is a very team-oriented player. You know, so much so that it kind of gets on my nerves because I will want him to turn very vicious and selfish in certain plays in his career and certain, you know, playoff games in his career. So I feel like if you stand back and you look at what she said and you look at what Kobe said and you look at LeBron's career and you look at how LeBron plays sometimes, and I'm saying looking at it from a surface level, it's easy to assume and think that she was coming right at LeBron. But I think the reason why, and I'm glad that she spoke up, she was alluding to that she just really misses how Kobe came at the situation. And in this particular situation, he would just know what to say. You know what I mean? And again, we know that when LeBron's in your stadium, when he's in that arena, he's pretty much going to run it how he wants to run it because everything revolves around him. And it should. He's a superstar. But Kobe, like I said, everybody thinks one way about Kobe because Kobe just didn't talk. Kobe just performed. But he will always listen. Kobe always said, I listen to what newspapers say. I listen to what media says. I listen to what everybody says, and I make it a challenge, right? So you have to take things in context. You have to make your perspective, look at the facts and go off of that. And I feel like the reason why Kobe gets hated so much is because he just doesn't retaliate. He doesn't really come at you viciously, verbally in a interview or in a press conference. He just shows you in his game, right? And I think when you look at the two different playing styles of Kobe and LeBron, and then you look at what Jeanie is saying, it's just so easy to jump to the conclusion of she's coming right at him. But I don't think that's the case at all. I just think that the woman is mourning still. She said it was very unexpected. She has every right to feel that way. I don't even know how that feels to lose that many people in a window of time that are so close to me. So I'm sure that she probably was in her office or she was at her home and she was like, damn, I wish Kobe was here. Like he just knows what to say. He knows how this pressure feels, because let's be real. Lego at James said that, LeBron is already the greatest Laker of all time. Now, I'm not going to fight his opinion, but what I will say is that LeBron, for one, has not been there long enough to even be considered that. For two, he had two, out of the 4 seasons he's already been there. Yeah, he won a championship, but I mean, he didn't. I mean, to me, my opinion, it doesn't make it true. I just feel like the team he played against was kind of, very inexperienced. All right, and that was one of his easier championships in his career. But I'm not taking it from him. A championship is a championship. But when you think about the other Lakers, they won multiple, and they're very memorable. Like, I wasn't alive when Magic played, but you best believe I know who Magic Johnson is.
Right.
Okay, I know who LeBron is because I was around, but at the same time, I really know LeBron because of his Cleveland and Miami days. Okay, so to say, he's the greatest Laker, that's all I say on that one. If you feel that way, fine by me. But that's just the feeling, in my opinion. That's just how you feel about him. But at the end of the day, LeBron's really going to have to put more tenure in. Okay, he's going to have to at least be there for a good 8-9 years and win a few more championships for that to even be a debate. But at the end of the day, to me, man, I just feel like Jeanie, she probably hit a low, like we all do in certain situations. She's just really missing Kobe because Kobe understands her. He can relate to what she's going through, far as the press and all this pressure that she's feeling, because he had to play through it and he had to figure it out. So I think that she just really had a mental breakdown, an emotional breakdown, and it allowed her to go on Twitter to express that. And, like I said, if I was on the outside looking in, like most of us are, you would think that was a shot at LeBron, because we all know, just looking at LeBron's career, that he is the coach while he's on the floor. It's either LeBron's way or it's the highway. And so when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, dang, Jenny coming at LeBron. But really, Jeanie But is just saying, no, I'm not coming at LeBron. I just missed the fact that Kobe just knew what to say, knew how it felt to feel all this pressure, and he knew how to win under pressure like this. And I just feel like the players, the organization, the things that are going on right now, they don't really know what it takes. And Kobe did. And I feel like that's what she was alluding to.
Okay, yeah. So lots to unpack, and I just sent a link for people who didn't want to come in. Like I said, I don't think it was a shot at LeBron, because it's easy just to say, "Oh, it's LeBron." LeBron, like LeBron is the biggest voice in the NBA. Let's just be honest. Anytime a story about LeBron comes out, it sends ratings like no other. Like with that, and that's a testimony to something that has been who he has been since he's been in the league. Anytime you talk about LeBron James, there's going to be some type of coverage, and that's why guys like Skip Bayless has a career to begin with. Like his entire career has been about going against LeBron James. And what's ironic is that after Jeanie But put up that interview, he thought that she showed too much. She didn't give enough credit to LeBron, saying that, she should have been talking about LeBron the way she talked about Kobe. I'm like, no, you're not Kobe in that situation. You're damn sure not Kobe in the Lakers' eyes. Like, this man got 5 championships. He's been there since he was 17 years old. LeBron came there as a 34, 35-year-old man. His roots are in Cleveland. So no, she's not going to talk about LeBron James the way she would talk about Kobe, because she's been knowing Kobe since he came into the league. So, but it's ironic that Skip Bayless was trying to, defend LeBron in that situation, because throughout the entire interview, she gave there's 2-3 instances where she had a chance to really go about LeBron, and it was kind of just like, yeah, he's great, all no, but I don't have that closeness with Kobe, or I don't have that closeness with Phil, I don't have that closeness with Magic Johnson, which is understandable because she's known them for 20 years plus. You know what I mean? Like, she loves LeBron for what he did for the Lakers, bringing them back to title contention, but she ain't gonna ever give that same amount of love to LeBron that she did with Jeanie, or with Kobe and Magic and Phil Jackson. You understand what I'm saying? So we letting people in right now, bro. We got Bruce inside, what I'm saying, to talk the chat right now. My man Bruce, what's good with you, man?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Bruce, doing good. It's good to hear your voice, brother.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you too.
Yes, sir. What's your take, man, on this? First of all, what's your take on the Lakers' direction, what they're going to be doing? We want to hear about the head coach of Darvin Ham, and we want to hear about do you think the whole LeBron Kobe thing that was shot at LeBron? What do you think? All aspects of what we talked about so far.
I think the Lakers gonna get ready for next year draft. They're gonna sell a lot of T-shirts of LeBron being the top scorer, and it's gonna be last year of LeBron, so they're gonna enjoy LeBron, sell a lot of tickets, and miss the playoff. Darvin Ham is gonna be okay. He's gonna try to be a good coach, but I don't think he's gonna listen to LeBron a lot, because he wants to keep the job. So LeBron is like the top man, and the Lakers probably would want to sign LeBron again for 1 or 2 years. So he's gonna be hearing from Lakers management. Don't make LeBron mad. Do whatever LeBron wants. So I don't know. I don't think the Lakers is gonna be successful next year, especially with that roster.
What you think about her leadership style? Do you think her leadership style is cool? Do you think it needs to tighten up? What do you think her relationship with the other, what do you think her relationship with LeBron is right now? As well as, why do you think she was so close to Kobe?
I don't think Jeanie Buss cares about LeBron like she cared about Kobe. Kobe was grew up with the Lakers. Came to the Lakers as a teenager. LeBron was already a grown man, family man, but is on the other side. of his career. So LeBron is just a hired gun to. It's like a band-aid to help the Lakers. Lakers were bleeding, so LeBron is a temporary band-aid. So, like I said, like I was writing in the comments, Jeanie Buss is not a good leader. I mean, she had other people that was managing the Lakers, and then she was having fun and hanging out. Now she has to do it, and she's freaking out. And because the Warriors brand is a better brand than the Lakers now in California, and she sees that, and she's trying to.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I think the Clippers is better now because look at who's running the team. You got Steve Ballmer, who's the richest owner in sports, and you got Jerry West. Jerry West helped a lot of the Lakers championships, man. And I don't mean to interrupt you, Bruce, but he went at Jeanie Buss and Rob Pelinka and those guys for somewhat raking his name through the coals through that Showtime documentary, Winning Time, where they pretty much portrayed Jerry West as a crazy old man, who couldn't control his temper. He actually, I think, wanted to sue over that old documentary. But even the Clippers, Jerry West is Bob the Builder, building rosters and bringing people in like Kobe and Shaq and stuff like that. But I don't mean to interrupt, but yeah, I think the Clippers is better now.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I thank you for saying that. That's more proof that she's not a good leader. Jerry West practically built Showtime Lakers, practically brought Kobe.
Right.
And you have a bad relationship with that man? Is she a good leader because of that? She shows her friends, her yes women, and yes men over Jerry West.
Damn.
And Rob Pelinka got the job because of Kobe. I mean, choosing LeBron, and did LeBron come to the Lakers because of Rob Pelinka or Magic?
Because of Magic.
Did AD comes to the Lakers because of LeBron or Rob Pelinka?
LeBron.
So Lakers are going in the wrong direction. After LeBron, what's next?
That's the thing, man. The Lakers. I'm gonna let Bubba go, and I'm gonna bring it back to you, Bruce. Bubba, go ahead. You say he took all his talking points, Bruce.
Salute to everybody in the chat. Yeah, sometimes it's just tough to repeat and regurgitate what has been said before you go. But I want to start with the Jeanie Buss thing because you guys said you guys didn't feel like it was a shot at LeBron, but I felt like it was a shot at LeBron. And when she said, "Wait, could you pull up the quote again?" Because I wanna ask a question on that.
There you go. Right there.
Okay, she said I miss Kobe Bryant. He would understand and explain everything that I'm not allowed to. My question is, what do you need explanation on? What do you need to be explained to you? Do you need an explanation about why your team didn't meet up to expectations because of the squad they had on the team, or like what exactly do you need explanation on? You're the owner of the team, you know what I'm saying? You have people, you have Phil Jackson, who you take advisors from. You have Rob Pelinka, who's the team president, who can explain things to you for you to understand. So when she said explanation, I really didn't understand it. I don't want to take it the wrong way and kind of like bash her, but I really don't understand that part because in my mind, I'm feeling you're the owner. Like anything that you want explanation on, you have to get it because you own the team. You make decisions for the team. Even though Rob Pelinka is the team president, but any decision that he makes, I'm pretty sure that he consults you first. He doesn't do anything based on what he feels like, and so is LeBron. So now, when it comes to Darvin Ham, I mean, he's going to be a first-year coach. I don't really think that he's going to have a very big impact on Russell Westbrook because in his introductory interview, he said he's going to make Russell Westbrook focus more on the defensive end of the floor. But we all know Frank Vogel is a very defensive-minded coach. if Frank Vogel could not get Russell Westbrook to focus on that side of the floor, what makes you think that you can make him focus on that side of the floor? We all know that's not Russ's game. He's never, ever since he's been in the league, we haven't known Russell Westbrook to be a defensive player, a defensive minded guy. So at this point of his career, would you think that he would focus on that side of the ball if that's the sacrifice that he has to make the team better? And with them picking up Rasheed Wallace, I love Rasheed Wallace, Philly dude. I really love him. I love his game and everything, his toughness. I love everything about him. But I don't feel like Anthony Davis is gonna really respect him that much, because I feel like Anthony Davis is gonna look at the situation like, I mean, I'm a top 75 player. Like, what can you teach me? You're not even a Hall of Famer, so why should I listen to you? That's how I feel like Anthony Davis is gonna look at Rasheed Wallace. He's not gonna take his word seriously, and it has been shown in past years. Now, this Lakers team, their success depends on Anthony Davis. Last year he said because the team was injured, that's why they came up short. That's why they were not able to make the playoffs. So, okay, you guys didn't make the playoffs this year. You had all that time. You have 3 or 4 months. So I'm really waiting to see what you're gonna do next season, because you have to. It's your team now. Because after this year, we don't know if LeBron's gonna sign with the team or if he's gonna leave. So you should look at this like, this is my team now. I'm the main guy. I have to, even though LeBron's the leader, but in a way, you have to kind of like go in there and try to take like Kobe, like the Kobe and Shaq days. Even though Shaq was the leader, Kobe was another alpha that he wanted to lead that team. So I feel like Anthony Davis should be that way and try to, take the keys. I mean, not in a very disrespectful way, but let him know that, after you're gone, I'm gonna be the man of the team. So I need to, show people, because people are saying that I'm not a leader. I need to prove to people that I can be a leader and I can put this franchise at the place where it was when we won the championship.
Go ahead, Rick. I'm gonna let you respond to Bruce and Bubba, and then I'm gonna go after you.
All right. So I listened to both. And Bruce, one thing I want to say on what he said was he makes a good point when it comes to, why would you come at, the Bob the Builder, as you put it, BJ, why would you come at Jerry West? And we spoke about this in the past on the show, where I think that should have been handled more delicate. You didn't have to, do the man like that. If you felt some kind of way about him, then you definitely could have had a one-on-one conversation with him. And so, like Bruce is saying, the certain moves that you make, it does appear and it looks a certain way. And usually when it, if it sounds like a duck, walks like a duck, it's a duck, right? So Bruce makes a good point on that. I think, BJ, you alluded to it already earlier in the show. I think, and again, not to be sexist, I think women, they're a little bit more emotional. And so I'm pretty sure she relies more on others' mindsets than her own. And like Bruce said, but you're the boss. See, this is what happens when you sit in the seat of the king. You have to wear the crown, right? Yeah, you have your advisors. Kings have advisors. But at the end of the day, you have to make the final say so. And with that being said, Bruce is very correct in the sense of, hey, I don't want to hear it. You made these decisions. Now you got to deal with it. So now with that being said, I think she's coming to a full come around, right? Like, we all make mistakes. We all make decisions in our past. And sometimes we think back on things that we probably shouldn't have did or what we should have did. And I just feel like, Jeanie But is in a headspace now where it's like, man, I really relied on these people, but now they're not here, right? So alluding to Bruce, what are you going to do? This is your team. You have the power. But I'm not trying to come off in a sense of I feel bad for her, because I don't. That's your team. That's your position, all that good stuff. But at the same time, I do empathize with a person, because that is a tough situation to be in. Like I said, the Laker franchise is just known to win, man. They're known to be great. They're known to have some of the best players of all time, Hall of Famers and the sorts. But at the same time, like I said before, she has to get to a point to where she might need to be more like Pat Riley. She might need to be more like Popovic, where it's like she's really, really having a conversation with these guys on the business side. Like, hey, love you to death, but we got to get to it. We got to win. You're out of shape or you can't shoot, Westbrook. She really has to come with the force. Now, is that in her? I don't personally think so. I think she's more of a tender soul, from what she's given off. But how she moves, I'm not too upset about because she is going to the right people. But like Bruce alluded to earlier, you still have to put heads on the chopping block. You still have to make hard decisions. And one of those decisions that she made in the past that I think she's feeling right now is that coming at Jerry West was definitely the wrong move. So I will attest and agree to that. Now, when it comes to what Bubba's talking about, I think when it comes to explanation, again, it goes back to what I said earlier. I think she just misses the fact that Kobe was so relatable to her. And like Bruce alluded to, she grew up with Kobe. So that bond, it's just that he knows how she feels under the pressure. He knows how she feels when it comes to, money on the line type of situations where it's either this way or that way. He knows how it felt when the whole world's against you and you pretty much have to come up and win. Like you can't come up short, right? So he can relate to her in the situation that she's in right now, and he's not here. So I think when she's alluding to the explanation part, it's just like, man, it'd be good to have an explanation from a guy like this right now because I'm feeling it. But like Bruce said, regardless if you're feeling it or not, he's not here and you're the boss. So you have to make a decision. And I think, just touching on what Bubba was saying, what's the explanation about? I think I'm speculating. I don't know if that's what she's alluding to, but if I'm in her position, going through what she's gone through, I'm thinking that's what the explanation is all about. I just wish that a person was here who understands exactly what I'm feeling right now, and he's not. I think that was the explanation she's wanting. But again, it goes back to what Bruce is saying. Okay, I feel you, but he's not. You're the boss. You make all the decisions. What are you going to do? And sometimes I just feel like when it comes to, the emotional realm of a woman's mind, sometimes they don't do what most men do like us, where it's like, look, yo, Kobe, we may even talk to Kobe, in our office. Like, Kobe, man, I wish you were here, but I'm going to go ahead and go this way. And if you were here, you probably would do this. Men, like you said, we're more narrow-minded. We know what we're going to do. We'll listen to outside voices. But at the end of the day, we know what's best. We know where we have to go. Even if we fall on our own sword, we're going to go with it if we feel like that's the best thing to do in a situation. So I just think, her emotions are kind of everywhere right now. She's hitting that, sadness point, as she said in the article. But I will agree with Bruce. You're wearing the king's crown right now. You have to make a firm decision, and you have to stand by it, whether you lose or win. You have to be firm about it. So, I think that's what the explanation was about, Bubba and Bruce. I think you hit it on the head. I don't really have a rebuttal for that because those were all facts that you said. I don't argue facts. But yeah, man, I think she just has to pull the britches up, man. And we got to get this going. And she really got to talk to Westbrook. That's the first person you need to talk to.
And you brought up a good point. I'm just gonna highlight one point. I'm gonna let y'all cook again. You said that Kobe knows how it feels to have the whole world against you,
Mm-hmm.
have all the bears on your back, and people coming at you. And I think Jeanie Buss does have a close relationship with Magic. She has different relationships with different people. Obviously, Jeanie Buss and her father, that's Jeanie Buss and her father. You Dr. Bud. And then you got Jeanie Buss and say Phil Jackson, they used to date. So they're more of like, some way you could call husband and wife situation. Then you got Jeanie Buss and Magic Johnson, who was brother and sister. They have their relationship. And different relationship brings up different personalities. I think Jeanie Buss looked at Kobe Bryant as a very intelligent son. And a mother's love for her son is like no other. And when you got a guy like Kobe Bryant who's mature beyond his years, who can give you advice, that even doubles it to the point where it's like, man, not only was he funny, he was charming,
Mhm.
he was very smart, intuitive, and all that good stuff, but he's a man of wisdom. And I think that's what women cling on to for most men. They cling on to wisdom, they cling on direction, no matter what. And I think that's what Kobe Bryant embodied. Not to say she don't have a relationship with Magic, but I think Magic, since a lot of stuff went good for him in his career, pretty much everything, for the most part, he was drafted to a great team, won a championship his first year in the NBA, um, won more than he lost. I think things like that is like when it comes to hardships, he's not really the person you would go to. You know, he was on the Lakers front office just a few years ago with Rob Pelinka, and they didn't mesh for whatever reason. But Kobe, I think him going through what he went through with the Lakers, having bad teams, having bad ownership, having bad coaches, he's built more for adversity than a Magic Johnson. With all due respect, that's just my opinion. I think that's what Jeanie Buss is missing the most. Is that I need a guy who, like Bruce said, she's been not really in this position. I need somebody that can help me with this amount of struggle because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I think I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if this is if my father thinks I'm doing a great job. I'm second guessing myself. I need some certainty. You know, Kobe ain't here, but I wish he was because I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. That's why I think going back to what Bubba said, I think that's what she meant when she said he would say things he would explain things I can explain because she don't know the job through and through. She doesn't know everything about being a Laker. She was under her father. You know, she was the daughter's father. You know what I'm saying? How much time were you really in the front offices, you know what I'm saying, dealing with the hard decisions? You weren't that wasn't you. But that's just my thoughts on that. But Bruce, what else you gotta say about that?
What else do I have to say about Jeannie?
Yeah, about Jeannie, leadership style. Do you think this is gonna where do you think this is headed? And anything else you want to say about the situation?
Uh, yeah, I mean, Jeannie needs to try to be the boss. I don't think she tried. I don't think she wanted it. I think that she just wanted the title for a while. Now she's trying to be the boss. I think she delegated some of the duties of her job to other people, people that she trusts, like the wife of the former Laker. I forgot his
Mitch,
name.
Mitch Kupchak,
Uh, no, the other guy that played.
Kurt
Uh,
Rambis.
yeah, and I think the Phil Jackson thing has to go. She has to let go of the Phil Jackson thing. I don't think Phil Jackson is a good manager. I think he's a great coach, probably the best coach of all time. I think he has to let go of yeah. Sometimes when you're in ownership or if you're a leader of something, sometimes you want to be surrounded by um, people you trust. But sometimes those people give you advice that are outdated.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Lakers really know how to draft. I mean, the
Mm,
last time they draft their own player that grow into the organization probably was Kobe. And then there was Magic before that. Because all of those success is because they bring people from other teams like Shaq, like Anthony Davis, like yeah. So the Lakers just need to find the next Jerry West, and I
mm,
don't think Rob Pelinka is that person. And
good point.
I don't know if Darvin was the right choice because you need an experienced coach to win now with Kobe. I'm sorry, with LeBron. And I think maybe I'm wrong. I don't think the Lakers gonna struggle. And you're not gonna change Westbrook. Westbrook is 33. He only know one way to play. I don't think he's gonna change the way he plays. Davenham think that Westwood's gonna listen for him for like 2 weeks or a month. After that, Westwood's gonna go back to the way to his playing style. He said he's probably gonna say, I'm gonna be me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be me. So okay, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think there's gonna change. I'm watching LeBron play in the Drew League. He's playing like the way he plays with the Lakers.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know.
That's all good points. But what you guys say last and thoughts?
Bruce said that Jenny needs to find the new or the next Jerry West. And my question is, how can you find the next Jerry West when you have all these bad and sour relationships with people that was in your organization? Because look what they did to Jerry West, and look what they did to the coach recently. I forgot Frank Vogel. Who's
Yeah,
gonna yeah
yeah,
who's gonna trust you to come work for you or come work with you? Because look
good
at how
point.
you treated these people you really had close relationships to.
Good point. Great point. That's a great point because and maintenance may be a little bit harsh, but all this could be karma for how she treated. Because Jerry West, without Jerry West, there is no like. If in my opinion, if you want to be kind of like frank about it, the greatest Laker ever is Jerry West because it's now as far as playing, I say Kobe all day, but hear me out. I think Jerry West as a player, mixed with being an owner, I mean mixed with being an executive for the team, getting them guys like Magic, getting them guys like Shaq and Kobe come to the Lakers, getting Pau Gasol. People remember Pau Gasol was on Memphis. Jerry West was GM of Memphis when Pau Gasol was there and got him to the Lakers. So all the success that he brought to the Lakers organization, I could see why he'd be like, man, y'all treat me like y'all treat me. Y'all wouldn't be without who y'all would be without me, right? And I met Jerry West one time, man, like last year, and you wouldn't even know if he's a famous guy, man. He's very talkative, very respectful, man. Like um, so I don't know what they did or how they treated, but I don't think it was anything Jerry West did to them. So it could be karma, the way you treated him, the way you treated Frank Vogel by firing him a day after the game, the way you fired him. It can be some karma that's coming back to you. So I just have to put that point out there. What you got, Rick?
I mean, poor Jenny. Poor Jenny. You know what I mean? Poor Jenny, man. These moves and the things that she's done to these great people who, like you're all three of you are alluding to, that could possibly have a bigger hand in helping her right now, she has smacked away. And I just, I'm one of those people as an individual. If I smack your hand away, I'm gonna figure it out. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, it doesn't seem she's that type of mindset like me. If I smack your hand away, even if it was a dumb move, I'm gonna do everything in my power to prove that I was right.
Right,
so,
right, right.
so I think that like I said, I think Jenny's coming around full circle, man. I think she's hitting it's a numerous amount of thoughts and feelings that she's realizing, like, damn, like, man. And then she wants to run to Kobe because no Kobe know how I feel. But the more we're talking, the more I feel like Kobe would even give it to her straight. Like, you probably shouldn't have did this with this person or said this to this person because they would be more of a help right now. But he'll still give his 2 cents. I just think that, Jenny, like I said, she's coming around full circle. She's seeing the moves that she made and decisions that she made over the years, or like you said, maybe coming back to bite her a little bit. But, all in all, that's neither here nor there. It's 2022 going to 2023. You're the head honcho of the Lakers. What are we going to do? And that's pretty much how it's going to be said and end and all said and done. It's like, hey, I like I said, I empathize with a person. I get it. But, Bruce said it perfectly. You're the boss. So what are we going to do? So that's what I have to say on that.
Exactly, man. You ain't finna be just sitting at home talking about I'm hungry all day. You gonna have to make something to eat, or you gonna die of starvation. I ain't trying to hear all. I'm hungry. Nigga. Here's something else.
Got some macaroni shells in there. You better throw them in that cheese.
Oh man. Hey man, Bruce, Bubba, any last words, man, before we get off here?
Um,
Please don't say go Jenny.
no,
He
I'm
gonna
not
do
gonna
it.
say that.
Please
He
don't
gonna
say
do it. That's
Please.
Bruce.
She
Bruce,
probably need it more. She probably
Bruce.
do need it though. She needs the support.
I mean, at the end of the day, Jenny is fine. I mean, she got that tequila brand with Jordan, so she's,
Bruce said so. You know,
she's
there's
gonna be drinking a lot of tequila now. So
She better be in that front office, man, because all that tequila ain't gonna help when they Lakers like 21-60, man. All that tequila ain't gonna help. So she better make some moves.
Jenny from the block.
Bubba, go ahead. Bubba, what you got, man?
I'll say that Miss Jeanie But you're going through some tough times. Well, get ready for more, cause
Right, right.
Because if this is the team that you hope can make you feel better, then I don't know what to say to you, because you had literally this same team and they literally didn't get you anywhere. You know, they didn't even make the plan. But if you're looking for somebody to give you answers and advise you, then good luck finding one. Because if I was in a position to offer you advice, I'm not doing it, because I don't want you to, betray me like that, like you did Jerry West and, your head coach, firing him after the game. Like, nah. So good luck.
I mean, it just go. I'm just gonna piggyback off this, man. It just seemed like the Lakers, and I'm looking at I'm just like, it's a big difference from how it's ran now to it was with Kobe and Shaq and all them years, man. I'm like, these dudes, they just look. Honestly, there's nothing to talk about the Lakers in the whole 2010 to 2020 decade, bro. Other than that bubble ring. So it just goes to show you how bad they've fallen, man. Like, and I just like you said, if she thinks this team's gonna help them win, it's gonna be another long year, man. Anthony Davis is gonna be playing like he hurt. LeBron James is gonna be throwing his hands up like I'm done. Russell Westbrook, I mean, you don't know what he's gonna do. Tasmanian Devil, but damn, Jeanie.
Jenny gonna be like Kevin Hart. Help me.
Hey, hey.
Oh man, I'm saying if I was Jenny, I'd be in everybody's face during practice. Help me! I'm paying y'all. What I gotta do? Like y'all got me out here looking crazy, even though she got herself looking crazy. And it's like I need y'all's assistant, please, please. I'd be on my hands and knees right now if I was Jenny. Please, y'all, Westbrook, please hit a jump shot, brother. Please. 47 million. Boy, she probably, oh man.
47 million? Sheesh.
Yeah, 47 million. Yeah, expiring contract that he's on. So he's there. He ain't getting traded nowhere. He's stuck.
Oh my God.
And then she even said in the article that because I think they picked up Walker and Tuscan and all them different people. But it's like they didn't. Pelinka and them really couldn't make any moves because they paying LeBron, AD, and Westbrook so much money. They're already in the luxury tax bracket that they really couldn't pull anything. So ultimately, this is your pieces. This is your chessboard. So you're gonna have to, I don't know what she's gonna have to do, but man, I'll be like, yo, Westbrook, man, look, man, if you don't win, man. Do you like I did Frank Vogel and Jerry West? We're gonna mess your whole life up. You don't win. Like maybe you should come at them like that. Hey, we gotta make sure you never play on another team. Like put some type of pressure on them. We gonna need to hit them jump. Got quit hitting the top of the backboard. The rim ain't up there. We need you to hit in this orange rim area. But it's Man, Bruce and Chuck came through with the F5 tornado on Jenny today, man. Like, golly. Bubba said, good luck. You gonna have more days coming. Bro, that's so self-deflating. Like, Bubba, please help me. All right, I got you. Get ready for some more bull crap.
Hey, maybe that's what she needed to hear, man. She needs to hear the truth, man. Y'all made some bad moves the last 2 years, man. Y'all shouldn't have brought Westbrook over there, but you did anyway. Listen to LeBron and Anthony Davis, man. That's on you. So I don't know what to tell you. That's your fault.
Get rid of LeBron, man. I mean, well, he already signed, didn't he? He already signed his.
He probably gonna leave them.
Yeah, he always leaves. LeBron always leave.
Definitely.
He out, man. LeBron.
I'm telling you, LeBron gonna go to the Warriors next year.
Yeah, LeBron going to the Warriors. I was about to say that. He going straight to the Warriors.
I think that can happen.
He going straight to the Warriors.
Man, that nigga been on every super team you can think of.
Yeah. And Wardell gonna be like, "Thank you, sir. Another champion." Steph turn to Wardell when superstars come over. Come on over, brother. Yeah, go on, get us a ring. They be like, hey, what the media say? Steph, he's just the most unselfish. I'm gonna be unselfish too when I know I'm about to win. You damn right. I'm about to be unselfish, very unselfish. Like, the Michael Jordan want to play with me? Kobe want to play with? Yeah, come on over. Yeah, you got a ball. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stay right here. Shoot, that's easy. Shoot, I ain't gotta play hard. I can just sit back and watch you score 50 points while I eat Cheetos on the sideline. Man, look. Go ahead, man. Kobe, you need a break, Kobe? You need a break? All right, man. Go play 2 more minutes, man.
Nah, Kobe is gonna be texting Tatum. So
that boy needs. We're gonna talk about Tatum probably in a few weeks, man.
Nah, don't let Bruce pull out the microwave, man.
I'm interested to see how he's gonna end up this season, man. I'm looking to see what's gonna happen with Tatum.
Man, Tatum gonna come in and pull his son from everybody from shaking his son's hand. He's gonna come in and be like, all right, do his thing. And man, now that you got my mind on Tatum, oh man, look, I tried to forget about Tatum. I tried to let him go. That brother was trying to dribble on 5 people. I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, man, come on, Tatum.
He doesn't know how to dribble.
He don't know how to dribble. Right. He don't know how to, and it's crazy. He an NBA player. You think that's one of the basic fundamentals, the dribble. But I don't think he know how to dribble through certain traffic. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was watching the game. I was like, damn, this nigga did the same thing, just the last possession. You would think he would change it up. That's a good player, but he don't know how to. I don't think he know how to dribble through traffic, bro.
Man, I don't think he know how to traffic through dribbling. Shit.
maneuver through traffic.
Yeah, he don't.
Yeah, that's it.
That man, look, he got exposed in the finals. Like, he really got exposed.
Yeah. Wait, what? Andrew Wiggins did to what their whole team did to Kevin Durant. One man stopped one player.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's crazy. That's how the NBA is.
You better learn something during the summer because all their teams gonna copy Wiggins against him. So,
but do every team have a player like Wiggins on their team that is willing to take the challenge? That's the thing. They may know that they know the strategy, but you got the personnel to do it.
All right, man.
Okay. Yeah, man. That's going to conclude the show, man. I have to bring y'all in for this week. Got some good topics this week as well, man. But it's definitely been a fire show. Appreciate y'all coming through as always, bro.
All right.
See y'all next time.
All right, see y'all.
All right, peace. My main guest, you know what I'm saying, Bruce and Bubba came through, man, with the fire. And
put the matches on the Jeanie But ass, boy. They was like,
yeah.
Bubba said, hey, I got some advice for you. Get ready for some more.
Jeanie, we need you to be Dr. Bust's daughter, man. You got the power, you got the money. Nobody can tell you nothing, man. You signed the deals, contracts, and all that, man. Act like it. Just act like you the boss, and just act like you know, your dad's right beside you at your front office.
I mean, you even got to be a boss to feel some kind of way. If I'm paying you 47 million, you can't hit a 15-foot jump shot. We already gonna have a problem. We're gonna have
Right.
an issue. I taught a kid a couple weeks ago at the gym. You know, he about 13. This man jump shot crispy now. So you mean you can't tell me you got a professional basketball player and y'all got all these NBA shooting gurus around the league, college people you can hire to teach this man how to shoot? Like, bro, come on, man. Like 47 million. Oh man. Yeah. That's what gets me personally. When you get paid all this money and you like Shaq used to kill me, man. Shaq used to
Mm-hmm.
kill me. I'm like, bro, you got a replica of the Lakers gym in your house and you
You
still
can't
can't
make
hit a free throw? Like, oh my goodness, man. I want the max contract. Shaq, I love you to death. I'm one of your favorite fans. He's funny, he's great, but damn, like all that money, come on, man. That's a pet peeve. And they be arguing for that money too. I want 200 million, 150 million, but you can't shoot. You
can't
get
shoot
all this
free.
money for. Like you got little, what's his name? Little Pritchard off the Celtics busting you, like hitting jump shots. Like we need to trade him for you. I know he gonna hit. Like, man, like this is ridiculous. And players be getting mad too. And you know, I'm not getting my 150 million. You don't need you need $2,000. All these damn shots you missing, man. Be too. Be like, man, that's ridiculous, man. Like, B Jizzle, you already know, bro. Like, even when you play regular basketball out here with people, miss too many shots to see what happens. They ain't passing the ball back to you.
No, they're not.
like,
No, they're not.
like this
Not
is
getting
regular
that.
games.
Yeah, you're not getting the ball back. That's a fact.
you be wide open. They be like,
Yeah.
it'd be 3 people on you. You'd be like, I ain't passing to him. Hell, I got a better chance of making this shot.
Yeah, that's how it be.
Like,
That's
shoot, when you add 47 million to the tag, bruh, I'm gonna need you to figure it out.
You gotta convert, bro. You gotta convert.
Layups. You can't miss dunk. And I think that's what got with Westbrook. I seen plays within the season where the brother was missing like layups and dunks. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, but that pressure got to him, man. Honestly, the Laker fan base pressure got to him.
I said, man, 47 million. Man, you better hit every goddamn shot. Like, man, I just because it boggles, like it just does something to me when you get paid that much money and you can't hit an open shot, like, bro. And it's real bad when your own stadium, like your fans are screaming at you, don't shoot. That's when you know it's bad. Like that's how you know they fed up. Like, bro, don't even shoot the ball. Pass the rock.
They was yelling that in the stands, man. They was like, "Don't shoot." That's how you know it's bad. Like your own fan base don't shoot. When your fan base don't believe in you no more, you might as well just hang it up and just be like, "Man."
He taking all these model shoots and these skirt photo shoots instead of working on his jump shot. I'm gonna tell you right now, Dennis Rodman was a character, but we don't care why, because he won. You know what I'm saying Dennis Rodman had colorful hair. That man was wearing wedding dresses, all kind of stuff, but he won, so we didn't bother him. We left him alone. But I guarantee you, if Dennis Rodman was losing, oh man, oh my goodness,
yeah, it'll be on.
Oh man, we coming at him like, boy, you up here with the Skittle hair, all kind of. We be going in like, but he won. So Westbrook, take it from Dennis, man. You better start winning, man, because hey, in the words above him, there's gonna be some more storms coming your way.
Oh, sure. It's gonna definitely be some more storms, man. But hey, y'all, that concludes the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. We definitely appreciate y'all coming through. Like, share, subscribe all of our YouTube videos. Rico, and tell your social media, get up out of here.
Hey man, y'all know who it is. It's the co-host that does it the most. It's Rick Masters, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast channel co-host. Hey, we got the shirts, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast shirts. We got the white, the red, the black. You already know the deal. $25 a pop, man. $35 for the sweaters, the hoodies. We even got the white tanks. Ladies, don't be afraid to put your order in. Come support the channel. Everybody who support the channels, I personally want to say we thank you for your love, for your attention, and for your time, because time is the only thing we can't get back. So when you share it with us, me and BJ are very, very, we feel honored and we love you for that. and everybody who subscribes to the channel and likes the channel and watches us. We appreciate you as well. Hit me up at Rick Masters 23 or Mr. Lee on Instagram. Rick Masters on every other social media platform. Be Jizzle, let's go.
My man Rick said it all for you, man. Continuously follow the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Continue to support. We definitely appreciate all the love and support we give y'all. And we respectfully say with an open heart, pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull up. Peace. Out of here like swimwear.